Star Citizen Alpha 3.7.0 is now live. Let's take a look at the new features and additions in this new major patch to the game, highlights of the patch notes, and known issues which you should know about and need to be fixed ASAP really. So they've added some new ships, the Aegis Vanguard variants, Harbinger and Sentinel, the Banu Defender, which is the only ship that can use the Tachyon Singe cannons now, and only the size 2, the size 1 and 3 have actually been removed from the game. It's a hit scan weapon, they're on gimbals, the ship can be flown by 2 people, and there's a shield hardening mechanic with it that you can click on the MFD and harden the shields. The ship's got a unique looking quantum travel, which is very Banu, and I really love the ship. The RSA Mantis and player interdiction gameplay has also been added. From the pilot seat of the Mantis, players can activate a dampening field via the interaction, so holding F and clicking on the QED, and they can turn that on first, and then they need to turn on dampening, which will prevent ships from quantum traveling if they are within a short range of the ship. You can also begin charging the quantum snare, so assuming that you haven't got the quantum dampening on, you can then press right click to start charging a quantum snare. Once charged, you activate it again by pressing right click, and a quantum enforcement bubble of 20 kilometers radius will be put in place once you start that, and pull all ships out that move through it. Ships that are pulled out are then snared. The location of the snare will be shown to the pilot and all players within their party. The snared ship will have its quantum drive dampened within the bubble as well, so automatically quantum dampened. You don't then need to switch over to quantum dampening. If you're quantum snaring, you're basically doing that as well. Note that this is the location of the snare, not the ship itself, which can move from that position. Changing and maintaining the snare costs significant power and cooling resources. An exclusion zone around major stations where the snare can be activated has been put in place, and activating a snare within monitored space is an offence and will raise the player's crime stat. The air traffic control will now restrict landing privileges based on crime stats as well. Most major landing zones will not grant landing privileges to anyone with a crime stat of 1 or more. Grimhex will allow anyone to land there, including those in stolen ships. Rest stops, Port Olisar and Levski will allow anyone with up to 3 of a crime stat to land, but not in stolen ships. Nowhere other than Grimhex allows you to land in stolen ships. They added ship rental kiosks at spaceports in Lorville, which is Vantage Rentals, and Area 18, which is Traveller Rentals. Players can rent for 1, 3, or 30 real-time days. Rented ships are insured and customizable as well. Harvestable objects can be found and collected on various planetary bodies. Harvestable objects are valuable and can be stowed in the player's inventory for later sale to commodity kiosks that can be sold directly from your ship if you've placed those items in a box, which you can place from your commodity inventory or directly from your personal inventory on you as well. In some of those kiosks, they'll just allow you to do that. So there are harvestables found on the surface of Hurston, Ariel, Aberdeen, and Daymar currently. They're adding it to more planets. They're also available in all caves. There's new missing person investigation missions for caves as well. For the purposes of gathering and exploring, they've added high-capacity armor, the Max Flex Rucksack Core. That's at Levski, Area 18, Lorville, and I believe Port Olisar as well. And flares can be purchased in those locations too. Flares can be equipped to utility slots manually activated by holding F and interacting with them when held. Players can now mine small rocks for valuable commodities while on foot as well. These nodes can appear by mineable asteroids or in caves and on the surfaces of moons and planets, and are quite valuable. They can appear by other minables on those planets. To mine minerals and crystals while on foot, the player will need a multi-tool plus the ore mining attachment. Both of those can be found at Area 18, Lorville, and Levski. Once equipped, players will be shown a user interface for mining laser strength and a fracture window, similar to that of the mining mechanic on the Prospector. You've got to keep the power and the sort of bar in the green zone for a long enough period, and then that will fracture the rock, and you'll be able to take those valuable materials immediately and put them in your backpack, your player inventory. The new player personal inventory is where you store all these harvestables and minables, and you can access that from the dot. When you hold F, you can literally click on the dot that's below you in your HUD, or you can press the I key. From there, a radial manual will appear showing the overall storage available and the fill percentage and what items are stored. The amount a player can carry is based on the type of armor they are wearing, with storage capabilities shown on kiosks and shop displays. Players can also highlight and drop items as well as store all items in a carryable box, provided they are standing within the cargo grid of a vehicle. Both the cargo grid, stored box, and the inventory itself can be sold at commodity kiosks, as I said earlier. Players can also now share missions. Accepted missions have the share option on them. That will share it with all your party members. Upon mission completion, the total payout is then divided among party members. And there are missions that are intended to be harder and tackled as a group and have bigger payouts because of that. They have added the IFCS proximity assist system, which now replaces hover mode for near surface control. It basically dynamically slows a ship's acceleration when near surfaces, and that should give the pilot better control and more precision. It's enabled by default. Proximity assist can be disabled in the options menu though. They've also added a keybind J to manually toggle compatible ships into VTOL mode as well. Some ships can now mount size 2 gimbals into a size 1 hardpoint, allowing them to effectively use size 1 weapons on gimbals. Those ships include Auroras, Mustangs, the Merlin, Archimedes, 85X, Nox, Dragonfly and Prospector. So here, really, this allows starter ships to use manual and auto gimbaled modes more readily and makes them much more combat viable. They've also made some tweaks to the auto gimbals. They've added the Kronig FL-33 series laser cannons. They're long-range, high-damage ship weapons. The Hedgeby frag pistol is also there. That's a high-damage, accurate over mid-range pistol that has a secondary fire like a shotgun and can be bought across the verse, including Port Olisar. There are new scopes and underbarreled attachments, which you can find in a variety of different places. There's a blinding flashlight, a laser sight, suppressor, flash hider, compensator, energy stabilizer. You can activate attachments that have an additional mode by pressing U. Note, weapon descriptions give the compatible sizes for the particular attachment slots. So like size 3 ones are typically used for shotguns, for example. The character customizer has been updated to version 2, allowing for more customization of characters more easily. They've made a load of improvements to the 890 jump. Its fuel consumption problems have been fixed. It doesn't use as much fuel. It's an invulnerability bug. They've adjusted its health pool so that it's got more durability but isn't invulnerable. They've updated the usables in the 890 jump as well. They've improved AI combat ship behavior for more dynamic target selection and engagement based on relevant threats, which should see better AI in the game, not just in Pirate Swarm and Arena Commander, but also in the Persistent Universe. First-person shooter combat AI will now prioritize targets based on distance, visibility, and incoming damage, and should engage the player more aggressively. They've adjusted the misdemeanor fine values, including a significant reduction in illegal parking fees. They've updated all mission rewards to better balance risk and time, so we should see much better pay for certain missions. They've temporarily disabled escort-style missions, made crime stat restrictions more lenient for mission offerings. They've updated AI service beacons with new sequenced waves of enemies in some cases, more challenging opponents, and kill rewards. They've reworked and reintroduced the level 5 crime stat mission, temporarily removed several city locations from the delivery system. The flashlight has seen several updates. They've updated the stamina usage to increase sprint time and regeneration rates. Temporarily removed rest stop HURL2. Beds should now work more consistently when logging out and give you feedback messages if there is an issue when you log back in. Delivery missions should now complete more consistently as well. There should no longer be blurring inside of ships when quantum traveling, and ships should no longer have shield holes. There have been improvements with the VoIP system, and they've added a new chat group and party interaction functionalities. Chat groups can now be created in the Comlink app and will persist between sessions. Chat groups are cross-server, so anyone in-game will see text from that group regardless of which server they are in. Additionally, players can invite their entire current party into a group or invite an entire group into an existing party. There's been some additional updates to the electronic access game modes. Arena Commander and the Persistent Universe now use separate ship databases, and loadout customization is specific to each gamer mode. Pirate Swarm has been updated. It's now 10 waves. There are a new suite of opponent ships and a challenging final wave with a hammerhead boss. Completing Pirate Swarm will get you access to the Pirate Caterpillar and Gladius to purchase on the RSI store as well if you're interested in those different skins. There's a new Star Marine elimination map, The Good Doctor, which takes place on Lear 2. It's a very light, bright map. very cool looking, and I suspect it'll be pretty popular for people that want to play that Star Marine game mode. Even though the patch was pushed to live, there are various known issues which a lot are actually centered around quantum travel. Let's go through these because I think it's worth knowing what they are so that you can avoid them and what needs to be fixed ASAP. Quantum travel sometimes doesn't work when too close to group members. The workaround there is spread out from group members, then quantum travel will spool and go one at a time. Obviously, that's not ideal when you want to quantum link together. Quantum travel target selection does not always update when aligned. Workaround there, aim the nose of the ship away from the marker and then retarget the marker to reset. The quantum travel HUD will vanish if the player exits the seat while in quantum travel. Interdictions can happen twice in a row and sometimes spawn an asteroid extremely close to the player. Invisible rocks are present on the surfaces of planetary bodies sometimes and can block FPS mineable resources. Kiosks and terminals are lightly flickering and could negatively impact those sensitive to flashing screens. They're not that bad in my opinion, but if you are epileptic or you do have a problem with that, please bear that in mind. Caution. Rec rentals for Star Marine failed to process, but still subtract rec. The Combine Cannon does not function correctly in multiplayer. Players can't quantum travel in the Banu Defender with a co-pilot seated. Ultra-wide aspect ratios cause misalignment for personal inventory and skyline icons. Missile countermeasures are not working consistently. Distortion damage does not apply correctly. Duplicates of ship system components can appear listed in the Vehicle Manager app, or the Vehicle Loadout Manager, which when equipped will not function. In Star Marine's Station Damien level, enemy indicators can sometimes be seen through walls. Players may experience a stall when loading and firing weapons in Star Marine. AI ships can get stuck and not continue on their route. NPC beacons will sometimes display an incorrect distance. Attempting to quantum travel to destinations from orbit of ArcCorp or its moons may result in a player colliding with the service. Not great. Ships can spin excessively out of control if their wings are clipped, and landing illegally and having your ship despawn while mission boxes inside will break mission progress. I would expect some of these issues to be able to be fixed, potentially server-side without a patch, but they do need to get a quick mini patch in, like a 3.7.1, in my opinion, to fix those remaining issues. Some of them are pretty annoying, like colliding with planets and AI ships getting stuck on their route. Stuff like that's just not appropriate really for a live build, so hopefully they'll get that fixed, and I would expect to see something by the end of next week. But tell me what you think. Are you excited for 3.7 live? When I was recording this video, all the servers were imploding, as in there was too many people trying to log onto the website, load of the services went down, people couldn't download the game, but hopefully that was all fixed by now. If you have been playing 3.7 live, tell me what you think of the patch. Do you think it's the best Star Citizen patch they've had to date, or do you have some different problems with it? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For October, it's an Anvil Carrack Explorer ship that should hopefully be flyable in Alpha 3.8 at the end of the year. Just comment on any of my videos made during October to be in for a chance to win that. I am also shilling for NordVPN and Shadow gaming PCs, so use the code BoredGamer for discounts there. NordVPN, in a world of censorship and privacy issues, VPNs allow you to browse the net and play games in more safety. NordVPN has many benefits over free VPNs, and that's why I shill for it. Some of you also might be interested in Shadow cloud gaming stuff. This allows you an alternative to sort of like buying and maintaining your own gaming PC. You can stream a custom Windows 10 environment to devices like your phone, a laptop, or a crappier, lesser PC, and bam, it's fantastically powerful, and it's maintained and hardware is regularly updated for you. It's a fantastic service, Shadow. Cloud gaming certainly has quite a big future ahead of it. If you'd like to further support my channel, please consider subscribing, sharing this video, ringing the YouTube bell so you get notifications when a video goes live. This is a channel that is funded by the community via donations, Patreon members, YouTube members, and anyone else that wants to get involved with comments and helping. Thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile. Take care, and I will see you in the verse.